Hi, Sharon Graves here as we begin our apple painting. I'm afraid that maybe you can't see. Okay, this is a gray, Victorian gray gesso on, it's just a wood board. It's just I practice on these a lot. I like them because they're smooth. I have a friend who does a lot of woodworking and he cuts these up and these are kind of his scraps, so it's a great thing for me to practice on. You can practice on freezer paper, on the shiny side of freezer paper. You just have to make sure you don't get too much water in your paint. Of course, you never want to do that. So anyway, here we are. I've drawn the apple on there, and this line back here represents basically a horizon line. Now what it is, here's a table and back here is the wall. So we're gonna, first off, before we do anything else, we are going to paint that, the table. So I'm gonna use a synthetic brush. Now I've got this apple here. It's got green and red on it. And this is kind of it's a warm cool. It's not a really cool gray background. So then you have to think, okay, so what color would work out the best on the bottom? And one thing that I don't have in front of me right this minute would be a good color wheel. But I do know that the color that's opposite red on the color wheel is green. Isn't that interesting? our Christmas colors there are red and green, and they're that way for a reason. So we could go with, if you wanted to cool this down a little bit, you could, well, let's just take, I've got some green here. I'm not sure I'm going to like that. And you know, this, yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to like that. Let's try a little darker green and add some blue to that. I want it to be muted. I want the apple to show. I want the apple to be the center of attention today. I don't want the background to be the center. So here's, okay, that's pretty decent. Now, you have to remember, you're gonna have this color yellow-green sitting on top of that. Now, as I work it in there, I'm painting around where the apple's going to be, and that's, you know. Now, if I could, there's a lot of things you can do at this point to enhance your painting, but we're just trying to get the apple on there. But I'm got mixed paint over there on my palette, and as you can see, it's not real. There's not one solid color here, which is good for me because I don't like a solid color. I like there to be variations in my color. So now some of the gray is going to show through, and that's a good thing. That's kind of why it's back there. Okay, now here's what needs to happen. We have this apple, and as I'm sitting here, I can see there is a shadow all under here. Okay, it starts back around this side and it comes all the way around and goes back to here. So that's one thing you have to do, is you have to learn to look, you have to learn to watch, see what it is I'm seeing. A lot of art is about seeing something. So now I'm going to add, you have some options here. When you want to make a shadow, you want to take the opposite of the color that's here, and that will gray the color. It doesn't make it gray, it tones it down. So I can add some Cad Red Light to that green. Oh yeah. I tried some purple and I didn't like the way that looked. Okay, so when you're looking at the apple itself on the table, the shadow starts back around here, and it comes all the way back from here. You know, it's interesting. You think, well, that doesn't mean much. That's not that important. This shadow right there is what makes that apple look like it's sitting there. That is a crucial part. Now, underneath here, right there, it's very, very dark. So I added some purple to this shadow mix, and I want to bring it up under here all the way across there. Okay, I want that to be darker. Now I can come back at any time and either lighten it or darken it. When I get my painting to where I'm happy with it, then I can adjust all of those things. I can adjust just about anything in it. But I need it to be there so it tells me, oh yeah, okay, there's the apple. And so if the shadow's over here, where's your light? Your light's up here. Your light's coming down this way. Okay, so a lot of times, I've done many paintings with this. I put an arrow here. So I tell myself, where's the light, Sharon? Can you see my arrow up there? And that's, you know, not everybody might need that, but I do, because I need some reminders that of where the light's coming from. Sometimes I get really into the painting, and then all of a sudden I realize I've got light coming from every direction here, and so I have to remind myself. Now I can spray that off with water and a little bit of it water on a paper towel. It'll come right off. So it's not a problem, because I put it on there with some soft fine charcoal. So. We're going to let this sit here for a minute, and we're going to come back in a few, and we're going to actually start to paint the apple. So, see you in a few.